What up? Good morning, everybody tapped in. Tagged the rumor this morning. This combo that I'm having this morning is about, it's a silent war going on between producers and rappers. Now, my conversation is very important for the culture, for all of the people, the artists and the producer relationships, because this is something that I noticed I stumbled across in my journey consistently with 95% of all the producers and I work with. And so this conversation today gonna be real informative, but it's a conversation that need to be had because there is a war going on between the rappers and the producers in every city and every state. You know, the producers feel one way and the rappers feel one way. And so we gonna really touch on it. One of the key factors that I learned from through the years of doing this music shit and being on the forerunner and being the owner, being a rapper and the owner of my company, what I learned was that a lot of the producers feel like they're very arrogant and they got a way of coming off like, and we talking about just producers, because you got beat makers and you got producers. Beat makers, somebody that make a beat and send it to people. And the producer is somebody who, they help the artist formulate songs, right? The first thing that we need to recognize, there's a lot of beat makers who think they producers and they not producers. And then there is some beat makers who are producers, but they just rather send beats off than to go through the hassle. But the war is because it's two sides to this story. On one end, you got the producer who feel like the rapper should listen to what they say, do what they say, or whatever the case. And it's a two-way street, and I start from the beginning. If you're a producer or a beat maker, because that's how it starts, right? When you get artists, when you first meet an artist, they're younger. Or if they're not younger, they just starting. So as a producer, when you meet artists, whether singers or rappers or whatever, or when they just start, regardless of their age, when they just started, you can mold them a little more because they just started, right? They look up to you for advice. You know the programs, you know everything, so they need your help so you can mold them, right? But that's just for a process of time. There's no artist or no man or anybody on earth who just gonna you can just mold the whole way the way you want to because we're individuals. If you meet an artist that's already been grinding, who already been in his own direction, who really not just a rapper, if you meet an artist who's a songwriter, who's a producer, you know what I'm saying, then you gotta move differently with that person. You have to move completely different, right? Because of how it goes now. The issue is that I've learned that just from my years, and not even on anger, I've learned that I've had conversations with a lot of producers, and especially in the last 2-3 years, like over 50. And when I talk to a lot of producers, they always feel like they know what's best for the rappers. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's an arrogant statement for producers who not famous. Like, if you famous and you you can't go to a rapper and say, yo, I can make your career better and say but nobody you work with as really blown up or not even successful like the numbers. You can say it, right? But then you got to ask yourself, I know producers that work with artists who got following already, so you go produce for this artist has a following already. So part of the work was already established. So in these, it's a very, and I know but it's very important today because where I'm going to go, it's going to get touchy a little bit, but respectfully. It ain't going to get out of hand, but it has to be said. So me being an artist first and a producer, I see the game differently. If, as a producer, and for what I'm learning, it's they want to hit us up and they want to be more involved in the song process, right? They want you to let them in, as a producer, they make the beat and you come to you now. This is key. I want everybody to listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong for a producer to have ideas or to want to implement some of the ideas in a project with the artist, right? But you still have to remember that an artist still has a choice, whether if you know them, whether if you don't know them, if you're working with them, right? The artist has a choice to want that or not. They might want a different direction. Now, I want the producers who be watching this to realize that there's other ways. Remind you, when we make an example of industry people, these industry producers, the reason why these guys listen to them even if they don't want to, because they got paid. They might have got a $300,000, $400,000 check or whatever the case it was, and they look, you gonna listen to us, and because we know how to sell these records, and you already got a deal, or you can stop making this money to feed your family. So a lot of dudes will be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let this dude write these raps. He's gonna write my hooks, and I'm gonna do them because he wanna feed his family. If you if you make beats and you a so-called producer and you can't do that for artists, then you need to check your ego at the door. You know what I'm saying? And it's a difference. I know a lot of niggas who make beats that don't make you a producer. And just because you got an idea on a record, that don't mean that it's fire. Or just because you hear it in your head one way, it don't mean that another artist has to take it. This is what I mean, that there's a war going on. See, the producers have to humble themselves. If you famous and you meet an artist coming up and you saying like you make certain statements, I could understand. I could definitely understand. But if you're not famous and your traction is lower than the traction of the artist, then you gotta watch what you say. And you gotta go about it differently, right? Even if I'm working with an artist and an artist, I work with artists all the time. A lot of times I gotta tell the artist what's real, but if they don't wanna hear me and what I'm saying, the only thing I can do is give them the idea. If they close to me, I try to express it to them differently. Like, look, I'm not trying to change what you're doing. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but this hook, like this, whatever this is, this hook is dope, but it's not resonating in the manner that I feel like it can. Maybe you just gotta give me more oomph. Let's try it. Like, I'm gonna say this one, but you know, get him to work. If it make him uncomfortable, I have to allow the artist to be the artist. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let him be that. Now, if you my artist or something like that, and we trying to get this product to the best thing, then I still can go about it a different way. But I want to remind you, when we talking, we're going to get deep in this from rapper, producer. Because there's some sick shit that be going on in the world. And I done did this shit. So when everybody say, Willie, yo, a lot of people say, bro, why you do all the beats? Because I got tired of having conversation with beat makers and producers. And niggas just sit there. Niggas, y'all make the beats and all that, right back in the day. Y'all make my beats. And then y'all leave. I gotta go shoot the video for it. I gotta put it out. I gotta pay for it. Just like I had to pay for the session at the time. It's 9 other jobs that gotta be done outside of us being in the studio and clicking buttons. So as a producer, your opinions have to be minimized to just a producer or a beat maker. That's the only role you play in that company or with people or in that relationship, right? Because I think that the beat maker need to understand, like I tell rappers all the time, there ain't no rap, I'm a producer and a rapper. So I tell an artist, look, ain't no vocals ever sold 1 million records by themselves, but ain't no beats ever sold 1 million records by themselves either. You see the exchange? As a producer, and I'm gonna get to the artist too. As a producer, it's arrogant of you to always feel like you know what's best for the artist when you don't even know what's best for yourself. You have to understand this, right? So let's say you get mad at artists. I have people, let's say just in general. So I've been in the game 17 years doing this music shit, right? If our relationship, what is your relationship? If I've known you as a producer and for our whole relationship, you give me beats and I go home and I write the songs and I come up with everything else, you're a beat maker for me. You're not my producer. Now, if we're gonna be real here, in that situation, if 5, 6, 7 years later, you as a producer or as a beat maker, you got an idea that want to produce a song, there's no problem with bringing it to the artist. But you can't get mad at the artist if they don't want to do it, or you can't get mad if it goes against the artist's morals, right? Because remember, this is what's selfish about beat makers. Beat makers, they tell me all the time, like, bro, you could have did this, bro. You got to make this music for these kids to get them to drill and kill you, be successful. Yo, I got the right to not want to sell that shit to people. That's my right. And I would appreciate it if you my mans or if you my so-called friend to stop hitting my motherfucking phone and asking me to make that type of music when I've already established my brand, right? See, it's selfish as hell as a producer with y'all selfish asses to sit here. Y'all, it's easy for y'all to tell the rappers, look, bro, all you got to do is make this music and we can get the bag because your ass ain't under the gun. So when you want us as the rappers to go make this music, as the beat maker, you in your mind, you make this trap music because you want to say, oh, yo, Durk can sound crazy on this. So you want a nigga you know that got a buzz to come in and give you that same drill kill music. But if we don't want to, we don't got to. That don't make us, we ain't listening to y'all. Y'all don't own our brain, right? Just because you got an idea, any producer, if you got an idea, I respect it. But the number one key to this and why I say producers got to stop thinking shallow. If you got an idea for a hook in a song, why don't you rap it? Why don't you rap it? But it's arrogant of the producer to think that the artist has to listen or has to care. If my relationship with you, and I'm just using me as an example, or the artist relationship with you, if you've been giving the artist beats and you go home, then 7, 8 years later, you have no right. You can come to them, but you got to remember, look, you got a hook, don't get mad. Oh, he ain't listening. That's why you ain't successful. You can't do that. Because you gotta ask you know how the artist thinking? Well, what hook did you write? And in the last 10 years, what hook have you writing that got traction like I've got traction? What song have you written as a producer that you can show me, that shows me that you know what you're talking about? I don't care if you're a producer and you got your own music and shit like that, because most of the producers, they got music, but they're not even stronger. They don't have the self-esteem to even push their own careers. Right? This is some real shit. So this is why I say it's a war between the producers and the artists. And everybody who musicians, I really hope y'all pay attention to this convo, because where I'm going, it's important to understand. This is from my journey, and I have this I see it consistently around the board. The best thing you can do as an artist is control your whole factory, right? Now, the producer is threatened by the artist who makes his own beats, mix the music. The producers, the beat makers, and the engineers in the game, they feel threatened by a nigga by artists like that. Why? Because they feel like they have no function. See, if I'm just a rapper, I have to come to you to get stuff from you. Once I elevate and do other things, it doesn't mean your work is invaluable. It's just that I'm gonna do it for myself, right? So some people say, yo, Jerry, the problem with Jerry is you want to be the rapper, you want to be the beat maker, you want to be a producer. I did all of that because I had to, right? When I was younger, when I was 18, 19, I went to the studio, paid for my songs. When I left, the producer or the engineer, whoever at the studio, or none of the beat makers, none of them niggas is worried about how they gonna get you famous. So they need to remember that shit. They get the money in the studio that day, and that's it. That's the only gripe that day, and getting the credit for if they made the beat, if they just recorded. But when I had to go home at 18, I had to say, well, I ain't got no record label, so how am I gonna get this music out? All right, boom. Well, how am I gonna get the music to the people? So this is what creates the idea of you becoming your own marketer, you becoming your own businessman, you becoming a street team, you becoming a cinematographer, if that's what you gotta do at first, or writing the videos, you becoming an engineer. This is the job that you're gonna obtain because nobody's dependable. See, when producers and beat makers get mad at you, what they'll do is they'll cut you off or stop fucking with you. But see, if you're an artist like me, you cut yourself off. Because every nigga I've ever worked with, when we got in a situation, they got mad and disappeared. I kept going straight. 10 years later, 15 years later, 8 years later, yeah, they reach back out to me because you ain't got no choice but to reach back out to me because of how I move, right? Now, you have, as a producer, as an artist, you have every right to your attitude. You have every right to your feelings. You have every right to your attention. But what you don't have a right to do is to sit in a corner, you handing beats out, and you can have all the opinions in the world. But remember, as a producer, you got these ideas about hooks that you want to tell this rapper. You got your ideas about all this shit. But who give a fuck about your ideas if you ain't putting no money up? See, as a producer, stop thinking that just because you got an idea, the idea don't matter. You can have a dope idea. We can work on this album together. And you got a dope idea, and it's 4 songs we looking at. 1 is your idea, 3 is my idea. I gotta put all the money up. What you think the artist gonna spend his money on? His ideas. Why? Especially if he know, because look, you go ahead and you do the idea with both of y'all and y'all blow up in the future, you gonna get an argument with that producer because he gonna feel like he the reason. No, you made the beat, right? And if you did the sound, you are in a big control of that. But you still needed the talent. There's always an exchange here. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're an artist, listen, if you're an artist who come around and you rap or you sing and you really ain't got it together and that producer is putting you in a format and this producer is really helping you be that artist, that's a little different. But even then, the producer still has to respect the space of the artist, right? So as a producer, just because you make beats, it doesn't make you a certified song maker. It means you make dope beats. And as a producer, you need to know this, right? If nobody want to hear your ideas, don't get mad at the rappers. Go do the shit yourself, right? And that's what I tell a lot of people. Or if you got these ideas, it don't mean you can't guarantee success off your ideas either. So like a producer be like, man, if you should have listened to me and you'd be further. But how can you guarantee me those results when you can't show me the results with anybody else? You can't show me as a producer. This is how you got to be thinking. You can't show the artist that. And the difference in, like I would tell a lot of the beat makers I know, I'm gonna tell you why I tell them like, yo, you a beat maker right now and you growing into your producer. The reason why somebody like me can produce an artist, first of all, when I'm talking to artists, if they're mindful of my catalog already and the hooks that I have wrote, if they like the music I do or they don't, right? You gotta always it's up to the artist. If they, you know, but they have a reason to respect what I'm saying because they met me more than likely through my music or somebody who I produce for or something. They already got an idea, so when they come to me, they understand. So when I give them advice or something, but see, I'm not gonna tell an artist, hey, say this hook this way. Now, if you my artist and let's say I'm writing for you some shit, it gotta be said a certain way. That's what the point is. But if you come to me, my job ain't when I get you the beat, when an artist comes to the studio with me and they get a beat for me, and I might, let's say it's possible, you might not like the song that the artist is making on your beat, right? I know a lot of producers that when they see that, they get unenthused about it. Or later on, they tell the artist, well, I don't really think that song hot like that, you know, but you gotta understand, the artist paid for it, the artist did this, the artist gonna move forward. The artist ambitious, the artist ready, right? But as producers, y'all need to wake up and y'all need to grow up and y'all need to learn what's wrong about y'all mindset. Y'all selfish, right? If you a beat maker producer, what songs have you written? When I talk to the artists, they looking at me from the 200,000 streams I just put up in the last 2 years. They're looking at me from the songs, the Killing My Buzz, the sketches. They're looking at me for the execution of my own hooks. Depending on how the artist respect the producer depends on how far that relationship goes. But just because you make beats and you got some good ideas, it doesn't mean that you're a better songwriter than an artist. That's why I say, listen, as a producer, your job is to find new talent and young talent and up-and-coming talent that you can implement your ideas to. It's not your job as a producer unless you can really let's say, for example, I say, well, I got 1 million views when I work with this guy, this guy, this guy. So when I tell an artist, like, look, man, I know what they like, and if you can fuck with me on this, it's up to them. But at least as the producer or the beat maker, I'm letting them know that I've done it before and I got an idea that I think the formula. But I can put this artist in that formula and it won't work. You gotta let the artist be the artist. You gotta ask yourself, if you a beat maker or my producer, producer is something earned. The producer is in the studio with the rapper all the time. So there's no arguments about creativity because the artist is gonna respect that guy because we're in the studio together every day, right? But an artist and independent guys of our lifetime today, we don't mean no harm, right? But at the same time, y'all gotta stop thinking like, I remember like people told me like, bro, you know how long, my friends close to me will tell you for years, I go to all these beat makers in Raleigh and niggas give me beats they wanna give me instead of the beats I want. And I know y'all feel me on this. Producers, if you talk to them, they be like, yeah, you'll pay them for some beats or whatever, or they be like, yeah, I'll give you 3, 4 for 150, whatever package. But they'll give you like 1 or 2, they'll give you one you want and like 3, 4 of the ones that they feel like they music they like or what they feel like you need for your thing. That's selfish. The producer has to stop thinking that way. The reason why a lot of producers be like, yo, Jers, how you get this from this artist when you're in the studio? Because I'm an artist first, right? So I understand how I feel when the producer step on your toes and do shit. When I'm stepping on artists' toes, it's for results. When I'm saying something to an artist, I can guarantee the result. Not just about sales, but hey, bro, this hook right here, and if they fight me about it, I say, look, this shit dope, bro. This shit fire. But I just I know how you want the world to hear it, so I need you to give me more and then I'll show them. I get up and I'll say it like, look, the difference between saying, I had to get it and go get some money, and then I say, listen, I had to get it, but go get some money. You see the difference in presence? You saying, I had to get it and go get some money. When I'm mixing this, it's only gonna sound like I had to get it, but if you say, I had to get it and go get some money, it's the projection. Your projection of air is what I can grab and intensify. If you sound okay, I can make you sound good. You sound good, I can make you sound great. You sound great, I can make you sound amazing. If you sound amazing, I can take you out of this world as an engineer. See, it's different levels. Rappers got low voices, low tones, singers sing low, sing high. Depending on how much air and how confident you are, it's easier for me to capture and move, right? See, I have to explain this to the artist. But when I'm working with all these artists around me, I'm not telling them, listen, I work with artists who I was helping on my team. They get through the beat fire, they get through the song and the hook I'm not big on. I'm not big on at all. It's not my job to beat his self-esteem down. It's my job to help him develop. Now, if we already in the middle of selling records and in the middle of a run, we can't afford for his mistake. So I got to go to him. Or if I talk to him and he ain't really smelling it, but I'm the businessman and I own the label, I'm going to say, I like your verses, and I'm not going to knock him. I'll go get somebody else, a singer, or I'll do the hook, or get another artist to do the hook. And do my best of the ability to not to offend the artist. But remember, the producer does not own the label. The beat maker don't make the final decisions. And you need to know your role and your position in such, right? Just because I make the beats, just because you make the beats with an artist, that don't make you 50-50 on them records, or like always. In that business, should I say. Maybe that song you feel that way. And business don't be established properly between artists. And right, because early on, you know, everybody ambitious, everybody want to get to the bag, everybody just trying to work together. And then with ideas, and we grow up and we got all these ideas, shit change. This has to change. So the producer, I talked to a lot of producers, even around me. And a lot of times I talk to them and they say, bro, we give you what you need. You give me what you think I need. I'm from New Jersey. You from Texas. You from North Carolina. You from Raleigh. You can't give me what I need. You could assume you give me what I need, but you got to remember, as the artist, the producer, the businessman, the songwriter, when I take these records that I do with guys and I take them to my audience, you know my audience got a voice and they real people, right? So they be in my inboxes like, hey, bro, I mean, I like the new sound, but yeah. See, as a producer, you thinking you know something, but we got to start being real with our producers and beat makers. How many records you sold off of songs you wrote? How many streams you got off the hooks you wrote? How much have you done? Because who's really being arrogant, the artist or the producer, to feel like I can do this, this, and that? Not to mention, you got to deal with people differently. If you're dealing with a rapper, he needs you because he coming in, he don't know much, he needs format. If the artist you meet and already writes songs, has good song structure, and already got an idea, you have to get out their way. You have to get out their way. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, my homeboy Shooter, he developed. When me and Shooter got up, he fully developed. I'm not telling Shooter, when Shooter comes to the studio, it's an insult. I'm going to keep it. To me, it'll be an insult for when Shooter doing his work for me to be like, yo, I could tell him like, hey, G, give me, lay back a little bit, be aggressive. He open to it. Or if I'm doing something, a nigga around me like, hey, bro, lay back, you too aggressive. I bet. But if they don't want to, you can suggest it. If they don't want to, leave them alone. But he already developed. Remember, we sit here by ourselves, developing ourselves, writing hooks every day, being in the studio every day. That's our right. And I think that's the issue here. So I started realizing in the last couple of days, like, yo, I can't, if I intimidate guys because I'm a rapper. See, producers got an issue with, they used to telling rappers what to do because rappers don't know no better. If you want to work with me, you're going to have to work a little differently. You feel me? Meaning that as a producer, you got your own style, I got my own style. If you want the best results out the music, we're going to have to meet in the middle. Like, me and my boy Tizzy, we made all the beats together for what's coming out next year. We made all the beats together. I wrote all the songs by myself, but I still was sitting in the studio like, bro, what you think about this? Like, this is what I'm thinking when I hear the beat. I'm thinking about writing a song like this. Right? Like on the new project, he got one of the songs me and him did in this recent time. You know, on this particular beat, I had made majority of the beat, and he went in and did he played in like the synth, the horns, the strings in the back. And then when I told him like, yo, I got this idea where I'm gonna act like I'm President Obama, rapping to the blacks. You know what I'm saying? And confronting them about, you know, if my wife wasn't black, y'all wouldn't fuck with me, and y'all always say I ain't do nothing before y'all, but you know what I mean? And it's on a new album coming out on October 31st. But I still, as a writer, I just say, what you think? My homeboy tell me, like, that'd be dope. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. But my relationship with guys is, as the artist, and I want people to understand, as the artist, if you're a producer, you gotta deal with me differently, man. You can't, if you're a producer, you have the right to feel like you know what's best for the rapper, but you gotta let the rappers be themselves, right? Because if like, I had a guy tell me like, everybody know you can't produce Jerz, or Willie, excuse me. Everybody know you can't produce Willie, because when you try to make him do something, it's gonna be a fight. And so I asked the question, I said, well, tell me what you mean by producing. And it was like, if I wanted you to rap the hook the way I want you to rap it, and if I want you to do the verses, like, hell no. Hell no. And any real artist gonna tell you hell no. Instead of you trying to get me to rap a hook or do something, a verse the way you want me to do it, get your ass up and you go do it. And that's what's wrong. Stop trying to force your ideas on other people and stop getting mad. Another thing, as artists, the artist has to do all the work. If you make beats, that's all the fuck you do. You make a beat and you give it to us. We go to the studio, we write the songs, we do the videos, we go to the guys, we put it out, we two-corner, we gotta do all the work. Watch your mouth and the things that you say to them rappers as a producer, because just because you made the beat, that's only 5% of the whole process. Now, when the song come out, the beat is very important. But your beat didn't make that record because the beat and the hook gotta sell. Now, for the artists who, there is some beats that make the record. But those are the guys that need to be produced, right? You have to know as a producer, everybody that come to my studio don't need to be produced. They just need beats and engineering. So when they come at me, I understand this because I'm a rapper first, and I'm not a beat maker, right? See, a beat maker and a producer is a service industry. They don't get it when I say that. Y'all whole career is about, here, let me get you what you need. Here, business, here, get what you need. That's not an artist. We are doing differently, right? Hey, appreciate it, Blake. And when I work in Blake, for example, we be in the studio and bro will tell you when I'm working and we working, I'm trying to make you the best you. I'm not trying to make you the best Willie Walker. When you come to me, I figure out what your idea is. Okay. It's our job as the producers or the beat makers to meet the artist. Hey, sit down with the artist. Yo, what you trying to do? So my nigga Blake on Odysseus Black, and I need to go check that shit out for everybody too. That's my boy. He speak his mind, he do what he do. Organic, right? Figure out, and this is tap words, and I'm reciting my homie Tap. It's our job as a producer or the beat maker to find out where the artists are trying to go and meet them there, and right? Once you tell me I'm trying to do this tape and I'm kind of street and revolutionary, now I know what I need to approach you with the records, and then if I can implement some of my ideas in, I'll put them in, right? But I need to find out where the artist is going. The artist has no problem with taking ideas from producers. I'm telling y'all this. But it's a difference between sometimes as a producer, you can come off on us and make us feel like, what you saying? We can't write a song? So some producers be like, no, we not saying that. We just saying that we can see what y'all need. That's your opinion. It's easy to say, bro, if you do A, B, C, and this, you'll get this. But how do you know? You can't guarantee a result when you've never blown up an artist. You've never done a campaign with an artist all the way through, most producers. Right? I see it all the time. And as a beat maker, it's also not your job. Yo, whether if you like the record or not, that's why you put, look, if you doing something for your homeboy, they rep on it and they kind of mess it up and you don't like it, yo, I'm not going to say don't put my name on it. That's me, but I know some people that will, especially if it's trash, you feel embarrassed. Look, you embarrassed yourself. You didn't embarrass me. The sound still fire, so if niggas like the beat, they still going to come over here, just like vice versa. The rappers do a thing and the beat trash, it's going to, see, if the beat fire and the rapper trash, it don't hurt the producer, it just hurt the rapper. If the rapper fire and the beat trash, it hurt the rapper. You see the difference? So that's why I always try to say it's a silent war between producers and beat makers, and you rappers should know that the producers are arrogant and they feel like they're responsible for your success. Now, let's be clear, because there is times when the producer is responsible for your success. If you go to the studio, well, no, not responsible, but helped you achieve a certain level. But you have, as the artist, it's a two-way street. We both got to humble ourselves in different ways. If you come to the studio and you got verses, but you ain't really got hooks like that, and your producer and the person you work with, your producer is helping you format it, like, okay, give me a hook here. I like this, give me a bridge. Like, I can motivate the artist without controlling him. Hey, that hook is straight. I like this part, but this part, give me a different part. The artist will say, all right, boom, let me go back. Sometimes they'll like it. It's how you go about it. It's all about how you go about it with the artist, right? Artists are sensitive, but remember, people say artists got to stop. Nah, we sensitive about our shit. Because ain't nobody really there helping us writing these records, so we have to attain the skill set for songwriting, learning how to write hooks and right. So when we meet producers later, like my homeboy would say, well, look, when Pharrell went to Migos, he made a good point. Then he was like, look, I'm about to take y'all to the next level. Now Pharrell can say that to the Migos. A local beat maker, a beat maker who sold a beat or two here and there, you can't say that to a local rapper completely unless you can, unless you was the reason, like you was there, you did the beats, you did the mixing, but you also did the marketing, and you know the campaign that went with it, not just the song. And you understand the rules that they did and the things they did to make these records pop. Right? So if you go to the studio and you do like Future and you just sing through the whole song all day and the engineer cuts you up, make a hook out of it, make verses out of it, that producer you should listen to, because he's formatting, he's taking, you come and record 8-9 takes, he take those, make a hook. Yeah, you should listen to him more, because he's formatting and doing stuff. Now, once if that artist stops that process and starts saying, look, I don't want to do that no more, I got my own hooks, you have to back up. Now, if we have a record deal or we in the middle of big meetings, $1 million and $1 billion, okay, now the artist can't do that, because we've already established this with this formula we're using with me doing this. That's what they paying us for. We can't switch and stop doing that, right? That's the key to those situations, and that's what we need to understand. But the producers, and this is what I was saying, a lot of times they're not producers, right? And that's the thing. It's arrogant. You can put the title on yourself that you're a producer, but what songs have you produced? And the ones that you did produce and people listen to you, how far did they go? You know what I mean? So it's always important for us to understand these important terms and why it's important and what's the goals and what's real. But remember, what's your relationship with the artist? When you met the artist, did you give him beats and go home? Then that's the relationship. We always got to remember that. But I want y'all to realize, as artists, these producers going to start making y'all feel like, and even as you grow, even where I'm at today, most of my following, my streams came from the shit. Like, things helped me, but majority what held the shit together was the shit that I had to do for myself, right? So never let, like, you're not enslaved to the niggas around you. Especially, remember, as a producer, I'm gonna make this point very clear. As a producer, you make beats, really beat makers. But if you do produce records, that means that you had a big hand in it. That means you should be sharing these songs. That means you should help promote these songs, and you should help market these songs. You don't need a rapper's permission to market a song that you produce. Because I can share and show all my friends and everybody I know, hey, I produced this song, I did the beat on this song. But see, a lot of times, producers take credit for something they didn't do. The producers will say, yo, hey, check this out, man, I produced this song, you didn't produce this song, all you did was you made the beat. It's a difference. Because what a producer's job is different from a beat maker. Beat makers give beats to artists, and the producer in the studio helps the artist put this shit together. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what my feed say real quick. He said, nah, seriously, that's your talent. You literally led me through rough waters, helped me articulate my pain through music experiences. Sincere thanks. You and Madison are my artist spirit guides, real rap. Much love, G. And I appreciate it. And that's what I try to get everybody to see. Like, I want to help the artist. That's why I made sure. That's why I be so vocal. What I'm doing as an engineer, and you know what I'm saying, I don't want to make the artists around me feel like a certain way. But at the same time, because I got to give both. You got to be fair. But on the production side, there's another side. We also got to understand as the artist how the producer feels, right? They feel like people just come to them, they feel like you just come and take my beats and go run off. And they feel like, let's be real, you get these beats and they helping artists, and then artists go drop these songs, and then they never get nothing. They like, damn, bro, did you write me in with a song? Did I get the credit? But a lot of these guys put these songs out, right? So as a producer, the guys put the songs out, and then they shot videos to them, but they might not have ever put it up. So the producer feel like, man, I done worked with all these guys that gave them beats and none of them ever did the legal job they're supposed to do, or they put it up on TuneCore or whatever and didn't even get a producer's credit, so the producer already real wrong way. So they feel even worse. The producer do feel like they're giving as a producer, as a beat maker, I'm giving you a beat. But what I would feel like that I'm doing the majority of the work is when I made the beat, I mixed the joints, and I helped put the record together. That's a whole nother thing. I could make the beat and back up, but if I made the beat, we was in the studio together, we sat there and I'm with you, like, yo, good idea, let's make it a little stronger. You know what I'm saying? When it's done, I mix, I master, I help write the video. That's different. That's a producer. Most of the guys who say they beat makers, y'all not producers. and I hate to bust y'all bubbles, y'all beat makers. If you make beats, but you can, if you make the beat, but you're not in the studio with the artist to manifest the song and the idea, and you can make the beat, but like I had one of my homeboys hit me recently, and he was like, he sent me some beats. Beat was fire, right? And the beat was fire, and he was like, and I hit him like a couple days later, like, damn, this shit hard. Like, I got you. And he like, nah, I want to be in the studio with you, which no problem with that. But I want to help you do the song, write the song, da 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 da. Now I already got mad shit going on. So when he told me that, I'm like, oh, bet. I told him straight up, like, look, well, I'm going to pass on this. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be prepared for what the artist's going to say. Because the artist got his own world. You know, none of my producers sit here, none of my beat makers sat down with me and formulated songs. Very rarely. It's very few songs, like a song back in the day, like 3 out of my whole catalog, maybe less than I could count on one hand that I have somebody, like it was like I walked into there and they had the beat and the hook already. And I'm like, oh, this is fire. Now you got every right to feel how you feel. If you already had the beat and the hook, that means you had the vision. And you got to respect that producer. But even if you did that, once the record's over, you can feel how you can feel. You can have, I want the video this way. I want it this way. You need to do this. You need to move like this. Or you need to move like this, so I ain't going to help you. You a shallow nigga. Because what we did in the studio is in the studio. But just because if you ain't helping pay for this video, and you ain't helping getting this shit to the radio, and you gotta fall back. Your opinions are just opinions. You know what I'm saying? And that's real deal shit. But it's a war. It's a silent war between the rappers and the beat makers, because the beat makers want to make, and I said beat makers, aka producers, because that's the misconception. And I want to be the first to tell y'all niggas is not producers half for y'all. I'm not saying that people I know are not, but 95% are not producers. If you're a producer, if you make the beats with them, you in the studio with them with the songs, you there in the mastering process with them, and you there when it's time for that song to go out into the world. So you're a part of the studio process, you're a part of the writing process, the mixing process, the visual process, and when it goes out to the public, you out there hands and feet pushing this shit too. For all my producers who feel like you can make beats and sit your ass in the house and do nothing for you, that's why your ass ain't gonna be successful. That's why you're gonna get fucked over. That's why niggas do what they do to you, because you didn't do your fucking job. For all my producers and beat makers, they do beats for artists, and when they put them out, yeah, you need to make sure they write you in as a producer, but it's your job to know how to go and get your credit and know how to go and do what you're supposed to do to get your claim. Because once I fill you in, it ain't my job. So let me explain. If I got your beats on my project, and when I drop, I'm going to send you a split sheet, because now they upgraded now, it's a split sheet. There's 2 shares. There's a share for the music, and there's a share for the writers, right? Once I write you in as a producer and send you that, you have to know how to go get your money as a producer. At the same time, if I'm going through TuneCore, CD Baby, or any of these websites, if my album on TuneCore as a producer, if you make beats and you the engineer, you need a TuneCore account. Because when they pay out, they're going to TuneCore who's paying out. If not, all of that money, all of those residuals, go to the rapper. But they do not specify to the rapper, this money is from the producer because we can't find him, or those sides of the royalties of those ends that come through. Because not everything come through them. It's your job. So that's why I've always been saying this. It's a silent war. But I would say, as producers, be careful, because you will exile yourself. And sometimes we got to be mindful. Know where you sit. 15 years ago, you might have been big dog. 15, 16 years later, if you all the way across the world, sitting here in your crib working kids, and that artist that you used to work with got the motion, he got the juice, not you. Now, you still respect it, and as artists, we want you around, and we want you in our circle, and we expect your genius, but we're not going to let your genius, and we're not going to let your ego and your fucking pride and your opinion supersede our business. Because, see, I constantly notice I've had to tell motherfuckers around me, from rappers to beat makers to engineers in the future, you know, I respect where you coming from. But I want you to remember, when you talk to me, the owner of this company is me. So you have the right to have your opinion, and I don't mean to be rude. But when you go to work and you go work for them white folks, and they tell you to do something you don't like, you don't go in the office with them and tell them what the fuck to do. So as rappers, as producers of black men, you need to understand. And that's why I say, separate me from the rest of these niggas. I love working with producers at times. Sometimes I just want to be a rapper. But you need to understand when you come and work with Willie, just like if I'm coming into your world, or if I'm going to an artist that's already got some motion, I need to understand that I'm coming into their establishment. The same way I'm going into somebody else's business. So I can have my opinions, but my opinions can't supersede the vision of their business. And if they don't want to hear it, it's cool, man. You got the right as a producer to just kind of fall back. If they don't want to hear you as a producer, you got the right to not work with them. You got the right to take your ideas or whatever somewhere else. Right? And I understand the producer point of view because I produce how you feel about the rappers and how they're not serious and this and that and this and that. But that's our job. So that's why when I work with artists, like I got some shit now. Like we working in the studio. If I'm doing a song with your shit, like if you already got a TuneCore, we gonna go ahead and do the paperwork in the studio. Meaning online while you did the song, while I'm bouncing it. If you got TuneCore, whatever, you log in and you go in and write me in now. They got some new shit where I got an app that logs. Like I can go ahead and scan your shit, you scan my shit, and already put us in BMI shit, ASCAP or whatever. If I'm a rapper, it already got me as a rapper. If I'm a producer, I just scan your producer. And like me, I got multiple. I would have the producer, the beat maker, and the engineer code. But if I did all three jobs, they would scan all three. If I just was a rapper, they took their phone and scan my joint. And that joint called hold on, the name I had to look at my phone. The name of that app is Session Studio, right? And it just was created. So if I'm in the studio with if me and Tap in the studio and he make the beat and I rap, I could just once he set up, he go on his phone, I scan his phone, and once I got the song in, I scan his phone, it'll say producer. I scan mine, it say rapper. If it's another engineer that touch it, if Mike Blaze came and touched it, I scan his, and it already lines all of this up. So that's for all the artists. It just came out. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the job, and that's the thing that's been rubbing me wrong. As much as I've done, right? You know, I'm gonna say it like this. As an artist, and I'm speaking on me for example, I've done more than what a lot of niggas dreams. I just put out 10 projects in a year and a half. These videos and stuff, me and Merch and all this stuff, and like, you know, I write the videos, me and Merch come up with the concepts, you know, in person, he helped me formulate it. In the studio, I make it right. Don't make me feel like, don't come off on me like you did this for me. You feel me? Now, if you really did put that work in for me, I ain't got no problem with that shit. I don't have no ego towards it. If you really came through and you helped me, excuse me, I understand. But I want y'all to realize making a beat is only one aspect. The artist still has to, that's like giving me fresh soil. I still got to grow the crop. The artist still has to manifest this shit. Right? And if you feel, that's why I said earlier, if as a beat maker, you getting beats to people and you don't like the songs, it really ain't our job to like the songs. It's our job to get paid. Or it's our job to get the credit for it. So that's why I ain't worried about if I like it or not. Cause if it's on that, I'm gonna get paid for this beat anyway. What you do with this beat is on you. Cause listen, why would I listen? Not 90% of the rappers are not buying these beats exclusively. To buy a beat from me exclusively, like costs like $1,500, $1,000, $800. Very few do. Like Homeboy Bars did it. We talk about if you paying a couple hundred, yeah. But the average person just gonna pay you $50, $100. That's a lease. That's a lease. So they don't own the records. So that's what I'm saying. I wanted to be clear with everybody today because I think that as I sat down with producers in the last year and a half, yo, you know, it's a blessing sometimes. Understand where you are, understand where we at. I could be that guy 10 years ago, but right now, one of the guys I used to rock with, he got the motion. You got to understand who got the motion, man. So I get in arguments with niggas and I be like, look, bro, like at this point, you got to come sit down with me. The public know me for the guy that's out here dropping these videos, boom, 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 boom. So I get your opinion, but 10 years ago, we had the motion. Another thing I be feeling like, I get mad at a lot of guys because it's like, regardless of how you feel about me, my nigga, if I was your commercial, you should respect me. This for all guys. If when it come down to like, if you a cinematographer, and no shot to my guy Merch, but Merch know I'm a real nigga, so it's my guy. If I'm your commercial, but me and Merch talk about all the time, I'm your commercial. When he shoot a video for Willie, and I drop every year, like when January come and I go on my run again and I drop video, I'm marketing my music, but I'm my nigga merch commercial. What you think happened when I dropped them 2-3 videos that had niggas going crazy? Now all the rappers in the city or state, like, oh fuck, I gotta compete. Hey, I need me a video. It make everybody want to move. Or if it's another guy that does it, and then everybody, he's the commercial now, right? Know what guys around you are your commercials that's actually helping you. Like what artists, if I'm the beat maker, there's certain artists that make me look good. You gotta deal with them differently because they're your commercial. Right? Don't forget that they're your commercial. Your beat fire, but your beat ain't shit because you ain't rapping on them. You can't shoot no videos to them. You can't manifest no ideas. And then even if you got an idea in the studio for the song, you need to be able to help me with the video process. And listen, if it's, this is what dudes say, it need to be 50-50. It got to be 50-50 in the money too. You beat making ass niggas who ain't putting no fucking money up, then you need to fall back. That's the difference with me. When I make beats for guys, I sit back. Once they do the work, that's on them. But when they drop the songs, I'm going to share them, I'm going to promote them, I'm going to stream them, I'm going to help the whole process. I ain't just going to sit back. If you know me, if you got a song with me, you know if you do a song with me, your Spotify number is going to jump. You know if you do a song with me, you're going to get some traction. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's other artists who can do this too. Fuck the arrogance. I ain't beat my own horn this morning to saying facts. I always stay down to earth with everybody. But I tell you what I hate. I hate when I be talking to people or producers or artists. Do not normalize me. I don't care what you think about it or da-da-da. You can't tell me and you can't tell certain guys that they're normal talents when they're not. Now, if you 40 plus and you trying to get a 30-year-old to make music like they're 21, you're out of pocket. Feel me? If you're a producer and you make Gucci beats, stop trying to get, if you're a producer, if you like Zaytoven and you make boom, 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 if you make that type of shit, please stop trying to get Nas to rap on your beats. Please don't be getting mad at goddamn Common for not wanting to do an album on your beats. Because your beats put real rappers in jail. A lot of the beats today, you know why all the rappers be rapping the same outside of the ghostwriters? Because all the beats got the same type of kick. So the only way you can rap to it is I come in and get in this money, but you gotta rap that way. Because all of this shit is the same. Right? So you gotta understand as a producer what you offer. If you're dealing with up top artists who really up top artists, you gotta find a way that you can bring your world into their world. You can't make these artists just come to your world because it's like a person who used to be in goddamn 80-degree water, and then you telling them like, yo, come get in this freezing water. His fans ain't gonna understand freezing water. See, if as an artist, if I make hip hop music, if I fail making hip hop and I'm making the music I love, I can live with that. But if I do what you tell me to do and I go opposite of what I want to do and I rap your way and this shit don't work and I get laughed at, then what? That's what I'm saying. A lot of rappers, they be like, Jers, yo, Willie, you can do this, you'll be bigger. But it's like when I did those songs with these producers, yeah, I got some fans that I never got before. But, you know, the lyricists or the real music lovers and all the people that I'm really in tune with, they would hit me and they were like, bro, what's this? I mean, I fuck with it, bro, but what's this, the lost tapes? And I'd be like, see, as a producer, you ain't got to deal with it. Your idea is you work with us and you go hide your ass in the back when the rapper got to go out front. The public see the rapper as the beat maker. They just know it's the song. The public not gonna hold the producer accountable. The public gonna hold the rapper accountable. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be mindful. I'm talking something about too. You gotta be mindful of this. And I wanted to have this conversation in respect and not out of disrespect. Because it gotta be said, like, a lot of people I worked with through the years, I came at through like on a business level, like I spent money, like thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I recorded 500 songs with them at $50 to $100 a song. I came to the studio 95% of the time with my songs written already. So I want to be clear, out of respect, if you're a producer or a beat maker, whichever one, because I'm not saying you can't be, it's just how you go about it. If your relationship with the artist is for years, you get them beats and they make their songs. 7 years later, 10 years later, you can't, when you come to implement your ideas, you can't get mad at them because your relationship with them is that. If every song that I've written, like I might got producers, but all of the songs that I've written and done, 98 to 99% of these songs, I came up with the hooks by myself. I dropped the verses, and the beat maker just mixed for me. He didn't help me formulate the records. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't help me structure it. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? I knew how to structure a song. When I started writing songs when I was a kid, by the time I was 18, 19, I had an idea that I already knew I needed a verse and a hook. So that's the difference. As a producer, I work with guys who just starting, who they got ideas, but they all over the place. So a producer means that I could take a guy who technically, if he went to another studio, his music would sound kind of everywhere. He would sing a little bit, but it have no structure. So when they come to me, I can take that no structure and put it in structure and teach them how to format their music as they go forward so that when they go to other studios, they can. That's a producer. Right? When after the music done, if they hit me up and be like, bro, what you think about this? Can you help me with it? But I can go to the video shoot and I can help them come up with the concepts with them if that's what they want. And I can help them manifest the vision. Because if I'm the producer and I'm gonna tell the rapper this is the vision, you gotta see this all the way through. You can't just make the beat and get them to do the song. You need to be there when the video come out. You need to be the first one pulling money out to market this song because it's your idea. So as producers, when y'all sit around and y'all selfish ass be like, yo, I don't know how to feel, these niggas don't listen to me. Have you ever spent any money with that rapper? Have you ever put money up with that rapper for that record? What have you done other than make that beat? Because if all you did was make that beat, you just got an opinion, man, do more work. So in conclusion of the joint, that's why I was sitting there and I talked to a lot of my OGs in life, not just in music, in life. And a lot of the older guys that I talked to, they all told me, like, you know, this isn't a problem of you or the artist. It's the problem of the producer and his arrogance. Because if the producer isn't famous or isn't successful or hasn't had other people to do it, he ain't got to be famous now. But if you wasn't in the studio to make that hit with them, or you wasn't a part of making it big, then it's arrogance to think that you know what's better for another artist all the time. That don't mean the producer always wrong. But you got to watch how you go about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make that clear. This ain't no shots to nobody, but just being honest about this shit. It's something that need to be said. At the end of the day, know who you are. So beat makers and producers, most of y'all just beat makers. You make these beats and you send beats off, you're a beat maker. And if you in the studio, it's your job to find you as the artist. I'm working with artists. After a couple years, they got their own thing. It's my job to go find other artists. It's my job to go find other artists who are new. I can implement my ideas on newer artists. You know, Dre, he worked with Kendrick early on, but after that, Kendrick was developed already. Dre ain't sitting behind Kendrick telling him what to do. Kendrick got his own thing. That's how it worked. When Kendrick first came, you Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? All of these guys, they all leave. And I say, remember that every guy, they start with these producers, but most artists who good writers or that really develop artists, they go about their business. The Snoop Dogs who need producers, Snoop need a producer. Snoop got niggas writing for him. Snoop need guys to come up with hooks. Snoop was the biggest thing on the West Coast, but also Snoop always been getting help. He needs a Dre. That's why without Dre and them, his career went down, and then P and them helped him get to a new place. He needs producers. He needs guys, DMX and them. A lot of people see that there's good rappers and they're good artists. Know which one you dealing with. If they're good rappers, they got hot 16s, but they can't do hooks. They need producers. But if they songwriters and stuff, you got to move out their way. And I say this morning because it was really on my heart for the rappers, and I do this not for the turmoil. I do this for the younger rappers that's coming up, and for all the artists and the producers around the world to get clarity. I can see this clearer than most niggas because some of y'all just beat makers and producers, and some of y'all just rappers. Very few people sit in the position I'm sitting in this art game, meaning that high-level skill writer, right? As far as like knowing how to do it, you know, engineer, right? On a high level, got a lot of work to still do. I'm still grinding, just like as a songwriter. I never think that I got it all figured out, but on a high level can do it. You know, beat maker, same thing. High level, still grinding, still growing. You know what I'm saying? person that can write the video, still growing, label owner, like outside of the studio, how we gonna market these records? What we gonna do? So as producers, remember, before I go, how many songs did you produce and did the video for and did the vision, and where the views at and how long did it go? Show me. You can't just tell me something and not show me. And remember, if you're talking to a guy who got 150,000 more streams and songs than you gotta be mindful as a producer. As a producer, if you done produced for all of these artists who made all these people that's been big, you sit higher than that rapper. He gonna look at you differently. But if that artist you working with has more streams than you, has more notoriety than you, has more representation than you, then put more numbers up on the board than you, you gotta level out your ego here. Because that guy, even though you like, man, he arrogant, he not arrogant. He's saying like, look, man, I respect your idea, but your idea is good in the art world, but where is the physical proof of your manifestation? Niggas say to me all the time, like, get mad at me, I'm manifesting. I ain't gotta say it back to you because you see my manifestation. You see the dogs, you see the music, right? It is what it is, right? And then people also, for all my upcoming artists, man, don't let people make you feel like just because you're frustrated that it's an issue, right? And I always make this clear. I remind everybody at an argument, remember, I own this company. You can call me an asshole, you can call me a dickhead, it's my shit. When we go look at the paperwork, the legal paperwork, the corporate LLCs, it says my name. It don't say it ain't no other producer up there, nobody else. If you a producer, I know you for 10 years, you made beats for me 10 years ago, and now you make beats for me 10 years later. You a quarter water, like Dane said. That's all you are to my company. When you come in respectfully, we can do work, and we can meet in the middle and move forward. That's all we can do. If it's gonna cause a lot of problems, you can go back your direction, and I'm gonna keep moving my company forward. You can't come to another man or woman's company and try to dictate your ideas and what you want to do and what you think will work. That's not your job. Come do your service, handle your business. When I work with my guys, they got shit, I do my service for them. When I talk to them and they ain't trying to hear me, I say, hey, it's fine. Go ahead. And I'm going to do with my job, and I'm going to let their ass go out to the world. And when they come back to me and be like, bro, you remember what you was telling me about this? Can you fix A, B, C, and A? I'm going to tax your motherfucking ass. Well, yeah, I'm going to need 100 for that. Because I told your ass when we was in the studio, but you ain't want to hear me. You're right, though. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn yourself. So that's why I always tell everybody, man, it's this music game a sick game. Everybody think they do so much and keep going so much and they didn't make you. They didn't create you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was supposed to be working together. But remember, if you started with an artist like me 17 years ago and you disappeared for 5 years here, came back, disappeared for 7 years, that's why a nigga moved the way he moved. If you made beats for me 10 years ago and you got mad at me and you peeled off because you had an attitude because I'm trying to get you to be more, for most of the people it's like, yo, I need more from you. I need you, don't just give me ideas, I need you to be more consistent. I need you to be more of a businessman, not just make beats and have all these ideas. I need you to be involved in the business and shit. And niggas get mad and run off. That's on you. You can't, if I've been doing this for 17 years straight every day and you got off the boat 12 years ago, 10 years ago, feel me? You can't come around. Your opinion ain't that important because I've had to function this business without you. And I understand, and I'm gonna say it bluntly, a lot of niggas who work with me through the past, when y'all look back at me, niggas be trying to make it sound, oh, you daughter, I'm staying in my ass. I'm further than I was when I was fucking with you. I'm gonna be further than I am right now. I'm doing better than I was doing then. I'm doing better than I was doing last year, and I continue to grow. So just remember, like, I ain't arguing no more, but I think for me, and this for all my mind people with the mind. If you intelligent motherfuckers try to use me against me about my brain, listen. Yesterday was a day that I had to learn that the universe was telling me, close the door. If we used to work together 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and we did all this business, man, I really admire it and I respect the work we did. But I realized that where I'm at in my career, I gotta close all doors and cut off all old connections. And only deal with the newer connections or the people that can work in that space. Because it avoids all the extra arguments unnecessary. You know, and this is about profession. This ain't about personal. This is about profession, right? But at the same time, as a producer, you don't have the right to try to make the artist rap and talk about what you want them to talk about. And that's what producers need to mind their business. If you an industry producer and you paying them money and they under your label, I get it, because there's money involved. But if we coming up, or even in that aspect, you still got to get on the choice. You have no right to ask an artist like, hey, bro, yo, stop rapping about God, rap about killing. Mind your fucking business. You have no right as the producer, and I say this over and over again. You want me to, you got this idea, y'all, I made this for the drill culture. So you want me to go do a drill song, dissing all these niggas. Then when I get murdered, the sales go up. You, the producer, the label, y'all get famous off of my death. And now you successful. Yeah, it's easy for your coward ass to tell a rapper. That's what I mean. Y'all producers be cowards. You want to tell a rapper. Don't tell no rapper. No, like, niggas, I had niggas tell me that shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you want to keep rapping for free right away, fuck you. I'm a 37-year-old man. I rap about what I want to. It's my choice if I want to lead these kids to prison or jail or death. And just so you can look good, you have no right to tell an artist what the fuck they talking about. You don't. And I stand on that. Any producer, any nigga that know me, I dare you to come to me and tell me what the fuck to rap about. I'm going to chop your fucking head off, and I'm going to hand that shit back to you. And I act like I don't even fucking know you no more. You have no right spiritually to tell me or any artist what the fuck we want to talk about. So when I be talking to niggas and I get it very strict with y'all, whatever you feel about me and what I'm writing about, that's on you. I respect it. But I know who I work for, and I know who I am. So you can't make me rap about some bullshit. Go get them dumbass Gucci man rapping ass niggas from the city you live in who don't know no better, who already throwing their life away to go do it. Don't you bring your ass to a developed grown ass man who got his own brain and tell him to do something that you ain't even doing. So for all the producers that's like, man, George, you need to rap about something different. Shut the hell up and you go rap about them and go get yourself killed and go lead your own kids in destruction. And if not, shut the hell up. Because it's selfish for a producer to try to get artists to rap about things they want them to rap about that can put their life in danger, and not even about being in danger. I have the right to not want to make music to make the teenagers and my sons and them want to go kill each other. I got the right to want to sit back. That's what my new project Say What You Want. New project, I'm talking about a song like a relationship with a man saying like, our relationship ain't been perfect, but I'm committed. You feel me? Like, you don't hear that no more. The men talking about he value his woman. And I'm still saying how she don't listen to me or she might, but it ain't always been perfect, but just know I'm committed. You don't hear that no more. When I'm talking songs about, it's intentional. But instead of, I'm not conforming to the now, the thought music, the young kill music. What happened to the artists who dared to be different? What happened to the artists who made choices, who dared to be great? Because without artists like me, the culture doesn't change. So it's the artists who like me who come with their own mind, their own sound, but still trying to make sure it's dope. And that becomes a new sound. And then when I pop, everybody in North Carolina gonna rap like Willie. Proof? The proof is when the baby pop, the baby ain't even rap like that at first. The baby rap like T.I. The baby made one song that before the big ones that was like that, and it got mad traction. Then he made another one like it. Then he made another one. Then he made Suge. But what really made the baby big was none of that. What got him in everybody's eyes was the joint, that girl record, where remember they was pressing him on a porch at the video shoot, which really wasn't true. It was publicity stunt to make him look tough. But he was in there. How that song go? She a savage. That record did it. The Savage record made everybody say, "Oh, bro, on some shit." Then when he dropped Suge, right? Then when he dropped them records, and now everybody in Raleigh and everybody all over the country rap like the baby. And if they ain't rapping like the baby, they rapping like Lil Baby. Feel me? Like, even like, for example, you got 4-2 Doug. He don't sound like nobody. Even if you don't like his music, you got to give Doug credit for, and thank you. But it's the same thing that get me. They tell me, everybody, a lot of people that know me, even people that's close to me, they've always told me that basically I'd never be successful at making that music. Even to this day, the way they talk to me, you ever got people that's close to you that you know you got to get away from because they make you feel like without them or the way you doing it, it can't work. Well, let me be then. Let me be. I ain't mad either. This is not an anger conversation. I don't need to be mad. But we got to understand that when you sit down with an artist like me, you can call me a dickhead, but I run this company. You got to stop. Y'all sit down with me. Yeah, you can look at Jers or Willie the rapper, but you got to remember, outside of we in the studio, Willie a rapper. You got to deal with the businessman, Jers. You got to deal with why I am, you know what I'm saying? So I just hope that it make it clear. But my only point to saying this conversation, I ain't trying to hate on nobody, shout nobody. I could care less about anything because I'm not knocking nobody for their opinion or how they feel or what they think about it, what they want to do. I ain't knocking nobody. But at the same time, close your doors, man. And I noticed another thing. It's 2023 for all my people before I get out of here. 2023. I noticed this shit. Everybody I cut off or fell out with was the people that I cut off or fell out with years ago. But yeah, they found their way back in the circle because they seen what I was doing. They had the same thing then, but they seen how far I kept going without their help. So everybody come back and they say, well, you ain't believe enough. That's why you disappeared. So I would never give you a true seat at my business because when y'all get mad at me, y'all go disappear and go do other shit. That's from all the producers I work with. There's not one, right? Nobody rolled this shit out, right? That's what I'm telling y'all. People get mad at me, but it's facts, right? No producer, if they work with me when I first started, once I had my own ideas, they got intimidated or whatever, or got in their own feelings, they went elsewhere. But now, to their respect, they might got their own labels, their own things, and I ain't mad at them. But you know what I'm tired of hearing from people? I get unfair phone calls. This y'all gotta realize as y'all grow, and I'm doing this for the artists to understand. So I got niggas I went to high school with, who I used to rap with them, and in high school, we put out a group album, and then I put out like 4 mixtapes in high school. And then the year after high school, and since then, these guys never put out another fucking tape. But when they talk to me, they be like, yo, bro, you left our group to start Black House. Nigga, we was 16. Matter of fact, and I always say, no disrespect. When's the last album you put out? Do you got a video? What's that? And they be like, it's been a minute, it's been like 10, 12, 13 years. So I moved on back in high school because I realized I wasn't serious like I was serious. So that's what I mean. Keep moving forward, y'all. Keep standing there, go. I know I'm a beacon of light for a lot of the artists and for a lot of people around the city. And I ain't trying to move in disrespect. And I ain't come up here to disrespect nobody. Or I ain't come up here to show out on nobody. Or to try to, nah. I came up here for conversation. So when artists, if y'all watch me and be tuned in to me, y'all can have this conversation and learn how to navigate the world that I'm telling y'all about. Because the deeper you get into your artistry, your career depends on these beat makers and engineers. If you don't want to be at their mercy, then you need to do it yourself. And that's the thing that guys don't like about me. You can tell me what you want. I can do your job, damn near. In some jobs I can't do as good as you. But it's certain shit that I can do that you can't do as good as me, right? But the difference is, unlike the producer, I have the drive, the means, the talent, and the ability to manifest the sound, the art, and put it out. And I'm thankful for everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful. And I really always try to stay humble to it. But at this point, my humbleness and my thankfulness ain't going to keep me, it'll keep me humble to you, but it's not going to keep me working with you in presence. You know what I'm saying? So, for all my artists, protect your energy, protect your craft, become more self-sufficient so you ain't got to depend on these producers because a lot of them weak-minded and they leeching off our talents. The same, and rappers, same thing for producers. If you the go-getter too, don't let these rap niggas leech off your talent. Because I know some rappers who leeches too. So it's a 50-50 exchange. You know what I mean? But protect your energy. If you the beat maker and you the nigga doing it, protect your energy, man.